virtual guests. Got to get them all set up, make sure they can see what we're saying. They can like, share.
Well, you got help today, don't you?
And subscribe.
To your left.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know he was bringing his.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, we're really tech savvy today.
Super tech savvy.
Holy cow! Look at that.
Keep with that.
Super tech savvy. That's all I can say.
Yeah, we're only missing one guy.
You got to start off. Good morning. We got a great show for you today.
We have
That's right.
Well,
we have a great
fortunately,
show.
we don't have a great show.
What are you talking about?
Do we really have great guests today?
No, we got a great show though. We don't have great guests. The guests are the worst we've had all year.
I know.
But the show should be good too.
It's going to be really good. Visually, it's going to be outstanding. I'll tell you that.
Oh, it's true. It's a smorgasbord of color.
Well, no one can complain about our Christmas spirit at the very least.
It's true. Today Manana has never been accused
of not having Christmas spirit.
Of lacking in Christmas.
Oh, we got people tuning in already. Happy holidays from Ricardo Cruz Duran. Happy holiday to you, Ricardo.
Y Feliz Navidad,
Feliz
too.
Navidad,
Yeah, both, yeah.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz
That's
Navidad.
his favorite song.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
It
the
is
one
one
by
of your
Bublé
favorites.
best, though, because they got the woman there singing.
He likes it because
the
he can
Michael
remember all
Bublé
the
version.
lyrics.
Yeah. Exactly. Because
Well,
I can remember the lyrics.
He can remember all the lyrics.
all he has to remember is Feliz Navidad.
Exactly.
Y próspero año. Oops.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's
we're
do
ready.
it. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today y Mañana. Merry Christmas. I know.
I tell you,
Figured
he's
one of
got too
those-
much eggnog already.
I
Is
know,
that
too much
what it
eggnog,
is?
It's
too
the
little
last
Cafe
one
Con
of the
Leche.
year. So
I know. Finally,
he's
I had
tired
to
of
mess
saying
up.
it.
I had to mess up sooner or later.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's Today
how
Mañana
Nikki
Christmas
would
edition.
say, Manala.
Hold on.
It's
Yeah, we
it's
do
the
that.
Today y Mañana Christmas edition. If you can't tell, I'm here with Xavier. I'm here with Michael. I'm here with Nicholas. We have all the Erpies. We are in our Santa hats. We are ready for whatever Nicholas
Whatever
has in
comes,
store
yes.
for us. Who knows? All I know is we've been given like these mysterious envelopes.
They're not
By Nick.
mysterious. I told you exactly what was in them.
Yeah, but do we
don't-
really know
we know
what's
what's in them, but we don't
Yeah.
we don't know what's the content of them, right?
Oh,
Exactly,
that's true.
yeah.
We know there's
know-
pieces of paper with one of two things.
Yes.
But we don't know what's.
Ricardo knows. Oh, I see great guests. He's probably thinking, oh, gee.
Thank you,
gee,
Ricardo.
all these Erpies.
I'm hoping it's. I don't think he's sarcastic.
No. just
Ricardo's.
kidding.
I don't know. We
I'm
would
just
read it
kidding.
as sarcastic, but I don't think.
I'll tell you, I'll be
Ricardo was
honest
being-
with you. So, I mean, every time I put on this hat, I get the picture of Bing Crosby in White Christmas, which is not really a picture that I like. And I keep thinking, do I look like that? Because
No.
I look worse.
No, Bing Crosby looked better.
Oh, his ears come out. Okay.
Yeah.
If it's any consolation, Bing Crosby looked better.
He certainly sounds
I
better.
was gonna- I was
Well,
gonna-
he sounds better for sure.
Yeah.
Ricardo says,
Listen.
love you guys. Thank you,
thank
Ricardo.
you.
Same here. Great man, Ricardo. So helpful for really anyone who needs advice on the...
Yeah, and with mortgage rates coming down,
yeah.
I mean, it's a good time to revisit all those properties that you wanted to buy and you couldn't. Maybe this is the right time again.
Yeah, you
right?
never know. You never know.
Visit your mortgage guy and let him tell you that, yes, you can buy it.
Yes, Philadelphia Soto. Loving the show this
No,
morning. Thank
not
you, Philadelphia. Feliz Navidad.
Toda
You
la
know,
familia.
Yes, two Johnny Ornelas and Philly, they're two little girls, are like two of the
So
cutest
cute,
little
aren't they?
girls
I
in
know,
the
really.
world.
I know.
It's like, they're
Muñequitas, as they would say.
yes. Oh, absolutely. So we got a lot in store for you, as you may imagine. We have some finance to discuss. We won't depress people with too much financial
Well, actually, no, we
news.
are going to depress them. We're going to start them off with a bad chart.
With a bad chart. But then we
Well, it was
have
a good
lots.
year.
This is your last happy
I
Christmas.
know we have a mix of Christmas trivia, Christmas surprises, lots of things to cover. A couple shout outs. Thank you, Judah Whittar behind the camera, always
Absolutely.
making us look good. I love Seaville Network. Yeah, thanks for another great year behind
Yeah,
the camera.
exactly.
It's really we always
It's been a
bring
super
out
year,
so
yes.
many guests and. He always somehow manages to make Erpies look good, which is a great achievement. And, of course, wouldn't be able to do this show without Emergent Financial Services presenting, without Of course, our good friends, our great partners that we have, Credit Serious Insurance, Matias Young Realty, Castle Hill Cider, Forward Adelante. I mean, we've had some other great friends this year. I know Charlottesville Opera was with us for a beautiful season. And I know they're getting ready for another one. So we just really appreciate everyone that has supported us throughout the year. So I made Today Mañana possible, especially
Absolutely, yeah.
our great audience, which we appreciate so much. Dr. Elizabeth Irby watching the show this morning. Thank you for joining us.
She wanted to see hubby in the Christmas hat, the Santa hat.
Exactly. What can I say? What can I say? So, Nit, what do we got today? So, I mean, in case you haven't seen it with Nit, people haven't seen it in a couple months. Michael,
They see me in 2 hours.
They see Xavier.
Everyone
Nit,
knows
you
who
pop
I
up every
am.
once in a while.
This is what he looks like.
This is what the CMO from
In
Merchant
case
Financial
you wanted to
Services
forget,
looks like.
sorry about that.
You know, you can now remember again.
Yes.
But
so-
Nit has several things. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit
Finance
and what is what we do for a living.
Yeah.
You know, this is our day job. You know,
Well, this is like-
Today Mañana is our hobby.
To be fair,
right, yeah.
this
Our pastime.
this will be more of a window into like our Monday meetings where we talk about the markets and such. So this is not necessarily specifically what we would do for clients. This is what we do to prepare for clients.
This is what we do in general on Mondays, so that we can discuss what's going on and
Exactly.
how we view the markets, what we think about them, etc. Yeah.
Now, obviously, the big thing on everyone's mind is like, will we have a recession next year? They're calling it the R word now.
The
As
R
though
word?
So if you said
Are
it,
we gonna
it's
have an R word
happen.
next year?
An R word, yeah. We're gonna have an R word next year.
It
And
could
so
be a
we don't-
rally. Could be a rally. So the R word's not
No,
that
they're
good.
calling it
Recession or
the R
rally.
word. Yeah, I mean, who
Rally,
knows what it
rally.
is? Yeah, I mean, for me, it would be something food related. You know?
Ravioli.
Yeah, ravioli. There you go. That's exactly. What, I was trying to think of something R.
Rigatoni, ravioli. I mean,
all the R's, the great R's. But it's interesting because everyone's got a different opinion as usual, and as usual, there's no consensus as to whether or not it will be up or down. Yeah, no.
Economists can't agree.
They
on
can't
know, it's
agree.
amazing.
And,
Shocking.
But it's interesting because there's a couple reasons why. So Judah, if you could bring up chart number 1.
Does he know which one? Because
Yes, I
We don't-
I
okay, you
labeled
didn't
them.
number
Okay,
in
Judah's
ours.
brought it up. No, Judah's got it. He's,
Thank God.
He's prepared.
Thank God
Judah
Judah's
num-
got numbers on those.
Yeah, so chart number 1, I actually renumbered them so that
Okay.
I'd be like, okay, this is the one I talk about first. This one is U.S. Chapter 11 business bankruptcy filings, which year over year is at its highest in a long time. So this is one of those. I wanted to start off with the bad and then get to the good. That's kind of how we do things. in
So
general.
it's pretty interesting because if you remember, guys, in March when we decided to kind of flip from, at least partially from
Corporate floating
corporate
rate.
floating rate notes into U.S. floating rate notes, one of the things we discussed was the fact that there's a large number of smaller companies that are going to really be challenged by higher rates. And I think that chart basically has, and I've seen it. I mean, if you go into the funds, I mean, there's ways to go into all different mutual funds, and you can like peer in there, and you can see which funds, which bonds, securities have already defaulted within these funds. And when I started looking March, I could already start seeing that there were 1 or 2 that were on the verge of defaulting, and I said, time to get out, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that everything was going to go bad, but I realized we're going to have that, and interesting that chart kind of proved that that was the case.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's higher than. I mean, listed on this chart, it looks higher than 0809.
Yeah.
The last time we had that R word.
Oh.
Well, the last time before last year that we had.
yeah, which is funny because it doesn't look like that. So it did rise last year, but it didn't necessarily not to the same degree.
It's an interesting. Which I think goes to show you, like the issue is consumer spending is masking a lot of issues in the economy. Is what I think what the challenge is. You've got the inflation, but what happens is the consumer just keeps spending, and a lot of it is, as we know, is debt-fueled spending. I saw a statistic yesterday. Now that student loan repayments have begun, they technically began interest began accruing in September. First payment was due October. 40% of student loan borrowings have not made that payment.
Wow.
They are immediately behind again.
Yeah.
So people are just not paying off their debts, but they are continuing to spend, particularly since areas of inflation include rent, gas, and food, which you can't really live without, so you're going to spend those.
Exactly.
You're not going to be like, well, let me cut down on my rent spending this month.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that. So
And
you're-
interesting enough, we've talked about this before, but just recently I saw another chart that showed that the outstanding consumer revolving credit is up to 1.3 billion, which is again the highest we've ever seen, right? And the credit card serious delinquency rate, which is basically means you are delinquent for at least 90 days, is up to 6%, and that. So basically in 2008, 2009, it got to about 8 to 9%. It's never been that high since then. So again, we're seeing all the statistics show that people are been borrowing an enormous amount of money
keep
in
up
order
with
to keep
spending.
up with the spending. I mean, we went through 2020, and all of a sudden everybody's getting somewhere along the line, a lot of people getting free money, right, from the government, spending that. Life was good. They decided in the next years, like, I didn't live life in 2020. I got to live it in 2021, 2022.
vacation
and they've been
travel is
borrowing.
still
Exactly. Yes,
up.
absolutely. You go to Europe, it's like it's bumper to bumper people. So I think that's been the issue. So the question is, when does this stop? Because this can't go on forever. In other words, with interest rates in credit cards north of 20%, that's a
Someone has
huge
to pay it
impact.
back.
Yeah. So sooner or later, something has to give, and that's the thing that I think that is why. When you look at the Fed says, gee, I mean, next year we might, lower rates 4 times. So you sit there, well, if the economy is doing well, right, and they say the inflation is now under control, why would you even
Why
bother
so
lowering
raise?
rates? Well, the reason is because I think it's 2 reasons. I think we discussed this Monday, right? One is I think the banks need that because with the banks, remember, with an inverted yield curve, meaning short-term rates are higher than long-term rates, banks borrow short, lend long. And if you're borrowing a higher rate than you're lending, that's
You're
not a
losing
good.
money. Yeah,
you're
you're going out
losing
of
money.
business.
So the banks are being, especially smaller banks, continue to be struggling because of that, right? So I think the Fed is looking at that. And second of all, I think they're looking at these numbers. They're looking at bankruptcy rates go up. They're looking at credit card debt go up. They're looking at delinquencies go up, and they say we need to at least begin to tell people we're going to lower rates, which the markets loved. I mean, we've had a wonderful rally in November, and December was okay, but November was a tremendous rally, and I think that's what we're seeing.
Well, I will also say, let's not forget that in 2020 was the highest starting businesses or registered to start businesses ever that in United States history. So part of that is a lot of people use the pandemic as an opportunity to start a business that they had been either waiting on or delaying.
And some of those may be failing.
And some of those may not. I mean, because let's face it, it's not easy to start a business. It's
most
not,
businesses fail within the first 5 years.
Yes.
So we're in that window.
Right.
That a lot of businesses that may have been done in 2020 are beginning to hit the wall.
Yeah, so
particularly if people start spending with them.
Right, so it's going to start shuffling around, and then that's clearly one of the things we've been seeing. Now, if you guys are ready to go to the
Let's go next chart.
I was going to say the happy chart. To the next
The
chart.
happy
actually.
chart.
this is
Where's
a
the
happy-
happy
this
chart?
is a happier
It's
chart.
chart number 3, if we could, Judah. I didn't
one's
number
that?
them in the way I wanted
Wait,
them.
the
just
second
I
chart
just
is chart
numbered
number
them.
3.
Not on. not as I sent them to Judah.
Oh, this is the one
Oh,
with
we're
the before tax.
Yes, before tax. That's the one we're jumping ahead to.
There you are.
Tax-
So,
It's
yeah.
green, so it's
Before
green.
That'd be
tax,
good.
family income by all families by dollars and thousands is up bigger than it has been since, or is at its highest since basically 1990, 2004. 1990, 2004. Sorry. So it is. There is good news out there, and that's the thing is that
Well,
there's
thank
a-
goodness, because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but with the inflation the way it's been,
It should be a lot higher. I was about to say.
Otherwise-
Right. It comes across as a lot better
Yeah.
because it's like one of those things that this is one of those other charts that the more positive folks are looking at, saying this is up. GDP's been higher, inflation has been at least cooling for the most part. It has been trending downwards, or less, not downwards, but less accelerated.
Yeah.
So the other side of the argument is that, well, if we had because the other, just for people who aren't as, reading investors all the time, the other phrase that we read a lot is soft landing, hard landing. The plane analogy has been very prevalent these past couple years, where the question is, how are we going to come out of the pandemic? Obviously, we had a small, very short recession last year. will we be having another one? So obviously a lot of economists are like, oh yeah, we're going to have a quote unquote a hard landing, which means, things are going to get very, very bad for a duration within the next couple of years. Whereas there's a lot of people that look at this and say, well, we already had a short recession. We had a government-induced recession, effectively the pandemic.
Right, exactly.
So the negative effects from this next recession will probably be softer because the economy will both be like recovering and suffering at the same time. So it's going to ease part of. So this is some of the other things that we're looking at of like, this is why it's not as easy for someone to be like, recession is coming.
I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but this number means family income is up like 3% since 2019, and inflation is like 20% since then. So
Who
you
invited
got-
him to the show?
exactly.
Who invited him to the
worse.
show?
Well, right.
Well, I mean, look at the
That's
difference
true.
though between 2007 when it peaked before that recession and even today. I mean, it was almost at 68,000, and now it's at barely over 70,000. So you realize in the past 25 years, it's hardly gone up.
It's
at all.
hardly done up.
Yeah.
Well,
And that's part of it,
I mean,
isn't it?
that's been a long-term issue. That real wages have essentially stagnated for the last 2 decades.
Right.
But on the flip side, the markets since then have done really well, haven't they?
That's true.
So from a perspective, so I think there's two things to think about this, right? One is people really have to be cognizant of the fact that, if things begin to turn a little bit sour in the near future, right, you have to think about, do I want to spend X amount of money all the time? Do you need to curtail your expenses? That's one thing that's important. From the perspective of saving, you want to continue to save as much as you can into your retirement plan because I think that's good overall. But from the perspective of markets, right, there's no indication here that the markets are going to go down. They're going to go up. I mean, every pundit out there at the beginning of the year has his or her predictions, right? And half are right, half are wrong. The important thing is, and just to give you an example, so I mean, this year, I think so far the S&P 500 is up a little bit over 20%, right? 20 and 22, I can't remember the exact number, right? But the Magnificent Seven, meaning the 7 top stocks, on NVIDIA, Tesla, Microsoft, Facebook, those 7 stocks, represent 42% of the returns of that index, right? So, I mean, those 7 stocks last year were crushed. This year, they're up big, right? So it's what I always tell people, you have to really diversify your portfolio. Small caps were up about 16%. Growth stocks were up about 28%. Value stocks were up about 20%. Bonds this year were up about 4%. So it's been a good year in general. And so the important thing is, keep, like a little faucet, a little drip, keep dripping some savings if you can into your retirement plan. Let the markets do what they do over time. They'll go up and down, but over time, they'll give you, and I think you have a chart, they'll give you, especially if you look at stocks that have dividends, they'll give you a nice sustainable return of anywhere
So if
between
I
7
may,
and 10%.
Judah, could you bring up the dividend chart? I believe that is chart number 2.
Yeah, and I would say on that, important to keep in mind, it's true, the
Thank you,
stock
Jude.
market and the economy are really two different things.
Yes.
The economy can look like it's going south, and the stock market to be like, rates are coming down, hooray.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
we had rather anemic growth for the decade after the 08-09 recession. Stock market doubled,
Absolutely.
even though you would sit there and say the economy is really not doing well. I mean, it was 2% or less growth.
Yeah, it was just
And the
free
stock-
money. I mean, obviously
because there
then-
was so much free money.
Exactly.
So I mean, there are things that can make the stock market go up, even if you're on Main Street and saying, well, this is lousy.
Yeah.
Well, so if you take a look at the last chart that we were going to discuss, we'll skip the superfluous chart that
Yeah,
I
I don't think
decided to
we
bring
don't
up.
need that one.
There. I was like, it was really cool, but I was like, we're probably not going to talk about this. So this chart that we have up now is going to flow back into what Xavier was saying, which actually shows that dividend growers have outperformed
High dividend.
Yeah, high dividend yielders, regardless of the rate direction. So, I mean, that's part of it is that, obviously, as we've always discussed, having cash flow allows you to reinvest. And that is a huge part of investing. It's not just timing, picking, getting the right stock at the right time. And, it's like, this guy is the one that figured out some complex problem that we have in our economy. A lot of it's just staying in there and then and taking that cash flow and letting it work for you so that you can reinvest and constantly reinvest, and that's where the compound interest portion comes down to, because everyone always talks about how like the one like greatest quote is always Albert Einstein, where he said the compound interest is what one of the greatest natural wonders of the world,
Right.
like is compound interest. But everyone doesn't use they use that as a reason to get in the markets, but then they don't follow the advice, which is compound interest, not find a stock that you think is going to go up. That's
Yeah.
not what Albert Einstein said, right?
Exactly.
He talked about compound interest, and compounding is when, of course, you take a certain amount, you get a little bit from that, and then you invest the whole bit, and then you invest a little bit more, and it keeps growing over time.
And that's the beauty about, obviously stocks that have high dividends, what you're getting in most cases on a quarterly basis, you're getting paid some of that dividend, right? So if it's 2 or 3% that you're generating on an annual basis from a stock, you are getting that 2 or 3% in cash, right? So the beauty is when you get that, then you have the option of reinvesting. You can reinvest in the same stock, another stock, a different fund, whatever it may be. And that's the beauty is that when you look at markets, and again, I mean, look at this year, 16% for small caps, 26% for growth stocks. That's a huge difference. So from an asset allocation, what are you going to do? You're going to sell some growth, buy some small caps, you got some extra cash, put in small caps, because over time that's going to turn around, right? I mean, that's whether it's next year or the year after that. But what you're doing is you're forcing yourself to buy things that have done really well, put into sectors that haven't done well but will do well in the future, right? Because small caps, when you have high interest rates, as obviously small companies, and that the default rate is partly that. When you have high interest rates, small companies are the ones that suffer the most, right? Because they have to borrow at very high rates, higher rates than a Costco or any of the other large companies, right? So that curtails their growth. If rates stay stable or come down, then you're going to see those particular companies do very well.
Yeah.
What do you make to the fact that it's more important to have a dividend grower rather than a high yielding?
Well, because yield is deceptive, right? That's part of what we always read about, right? Yield is good because, just for everyone out there, tell them about
Yield is a percent of the dividend.
Yeah,
in other words.
so yield is a
Yes,
percent of the dividend. The question, so basically think about it. If you have a company that's yielding 2%, and its stock is trading at 100, right? That's 2%. So they give you 2% per year in income, and its price is 100. So you divide 2 by 100, it's 2%, right? So if the if the price of that stock goes down to 50, right? All of a sudden, it looks like the yield is now 4%. Well, the problem is that that's a stock that maybe is not doing so well and will continue to go down. So when you look at the real high dividend yielders, you have to focus on what the company's doing. Is that a company that's basically not going to go south? I mean, they're struggling, and they're trying to keep their dividend where they are, which is hurting them even more. And eventually, you're getting a high dividend, but you're losing so much value in the stock. So that's why high dividend yield stocks, you have to pay attention and make sure that you know what you're doing. On the just dividend growers is what you want, meaning that they're constantly increasing their dividend because they're doing so well.
Right.
That's the difference.
Yeah, that's what. A couple more shout outs. We got the amazing Monica Miller from Montana watching us. She says, "Good morning, Irby team." Sends us a heart with like Christmas lights. Christmas heart. And we got Robert Boland watching the show this morning.
Morning, Robert.
Thanks for joining us this morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Well, so I like I said, I think to end this section, all I can say, it's been a good year. People should be happy. Their 401ks probably went up. Their savings went up. So I think it's a good year. Always remember, if you can, especially if you're working and you have a 401k, maximize that, especially if the company's matching. That's free money. Go ahead and do what you can. Diversify that portfolio, and let the markets do what they do. And let us do what we do.
I like it.
I like it too.
And then even though like we're telling people be cautious, don't be surprised by what may happen. That there's somewhere inside. Then that doesn't mean everything's going to collapse and fall apart, and you should sell all your stocks. It's literally just the same kind of vigilance and research that we're talking about, and make sure you're informed.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we try to do here.
Exactly.
But I would also want to thank Alex for taking my happy chart and turning it into an unhappy chart.
I mean,
he does that. He's the optimist too in the
Grinch.
family. Like,
I didn't
Grinch.
go with your last. The last chart was legit.
that
Happy.
last chart was legit.
It's just
but
that
yeah.
other one was.
That was the happiest of them all. I mean, 11% return, 10, 12%
Exactly.
return.
Yeah.
This is true joy. The other chart was temporary pleasure, which turned into sadness.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like, it's the highest it's been, but
Yeah, it does. But well, it's still good. It's better than being the lowest.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the lowest it's been.
Like-
So you have some.
I know,
So tell us a little bit
So,
about these envelopes.
In these envelopes
Yes.
that I hold in my hand,
Yes.
there is either a joke or a Christmas trivia, and whoever opens the envelope may make may
Choose
choose which they
to tell the
to
joke.
tell the joke or to read the trivia and then have the rest everyone get. Listen, some of them are going to be like one of those things like don't wait 4 hours for us to get it because we'll never get some.
So just a quick question. So who put all these together?
So I put them all together.
So does
but
that mean,
I
like, so
stole
you-
the trivia and I stole the jokes? None of the jokes are original. I wanted to write
Wow,
my jokes,
thank goodness
and
for
then I
that,
found
but-
out that I'm not good at writing jokes. So
No,
I
but I'm
stole
saying,
jokes.
so you can't participate in the answers.
I don't remember how. There's a lot. There's. I'm not
Oh,
gonna remember.
yeah.
I remember
remember
that.
that.
He just
does
wants
that.
to act like he
I
doesn't, then he
can't
gets all of
remember
them
the
right.
answers.
No,
and
I
then
don't-
I
we don't have
answer
those
them
buttons.
all.
I won't answer, but I will laugh at the jokes.
Okay.
We can do that. We can do that. Who wants to
But
go
we'll
first?
start with Michael since
No,
Michael.
no, let's do Xavier first. Let's go like this.
Xavier.
All right.
All right.
I think that makes
The
sense.
old-
Javier.
the old guy.
It's an early
Javier.
Christmas present.
I gotta see what the. I always like.
You may look
jokes.
at your head. You might as well. I will take one of the elements and look ahead to see which one you want to read.
All right.
Well, Xavier, you were supposed to only read the punchline.
You're supposed to only read the punchline first, and then
But you said I have to
Ah,
decide
sorry,
which
okay,
way
yeah,
I
you
want to
have
go.
decide, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
So this one. So yeah, I'm going. This one I'm going to give the punchline and see if you guess what the joke is. All
okay.
right?
Okay.
Ice Krispies.
Ice
Let me repeat that. Ice
Krispies.
Krispies.
Snowman's favorite cereal.
Close.
Santa's
Ah,
favorite cereal.
No.
Just read it.
Reindeer.
What do snowmen eat for dessert?
Oh,
That was pretty good.
Come on, almost
good.
same thing.
That's what I
counted
said.
it out.
Well, you're not supposed to. It's not a trivia question. You were supposed to just say it. We'd be like, "Oh, what is that?" And then you read the
Oh.
punchline.
Well,
It's
he-
not
he was
trivia.
close. That was
yeah,
good.
He was close. Yeah.
Okay.
Go on, Mikey. This is your-
Okay, now my turn. All right, let me open this up.
He's opening his envelope.
Okay, question. Who invented Christmas lights?
Thomas Edison.
Ding ding.
It was Thomas Edison?
Thomas Edison.
I finished
So,
that.
Christmas light.
I thought
Good.
Edison was too easy because he did the light bulb.
Well, I
So
guess-
Tesla.
I
That's
said-
why he got it, because it's easy.
It's easy. That's right.
He
You
totally
give me-
overthought it.
You only
He had the answer.
I had the answer and I overthought it.
Because, Tesla was known for his holiday cheer.
So Nicholas wrote, Thomas Edison created the first strand of electric lights in 1880. Edward H. Johnson put the first string of Christmas lights together in 1882. And in 1917, Albert Sadaka proposed that his family's lighting company sell colored strands of inexpensive Christmas lights to the public. So there was like really kind of three people kind of had their hand in it.
Yeah, well.
Oh, I liked it.
So it's a nice little bit of trivia. Just something a little
There you
bit.
go.
Mine
Nice job,
is-
Pops.
What happened to the man who stole an advent calendar? He got 24 days.
Oh, that's a joke.
That's the joke.
I thought it was. I thought it was one of those trivia.
That's why I like
said,
to move
"Ooh,
it back and forth.
ooh,
So everyone doesn't
ooh,
know what's
ooh,
going
ooh,
on.
stole
Yeah,
that.
I like that.
Okay, I'll try another little trivia for you guys. Okay. What year is thought to be the first observation of the December 25th Feast of Christmas?
What year?
Yeah.
This is a perfect one for Alex because I remember this being a religious question.
Can you at least give us like a time frame? Because otherwise,
Okay,
I mean,
Somewhere between when Christ was born and now.
Yeah, somewhere between the birth of Jesus and the fall of the Roman Empire. How's that?
okay, fair enough.
1624.
That's not when the Roman Empire fell.
No,
It
I'm
fell
just
in
saying.
490.
I'm giving you
would
my.
say-
I'm giving you my.
The
I'm
Roman
giving.
Empire fell in 490.
220 AD.
That's closer, Nick. Or do you already know?
I know it's like somewhere
Okay.
around there.
Might
By
be way
default.
closer. By
By
default.
default.
336.
Okay.
He was
Was the,
actually
the
fair.
Christian
Come
church
on, the
in
Roman
Rome.
Empire
He was
fell in
for-
60, 40.
No, but I'm saying I didn't know
But
celebrating
the Roman
Christmas that
Empire-
early.
But Alex
Yeah.
gave you
I
that.
said it was between the birth of Christ and the fall of the Roman Empire.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the end. Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
thought it said
between.
between the
Yeah.
Roman Empire.
That's
No.
right. You were close. You were only off by 1,000 years. You know,
That's
It's
not
not
bad.
too
That's
much.
not too
It could've
bad.
been worse.
Hey, I got Thomas Edison right. Okay,
That's
It
true.
could've
gotta
been
give me.
worse. It could've
So
been
we
worse.
keep going. So
Yeah,
I
keep going.
So
Unless Judah wants to read one.
did he get one?
Oh, hold on. I got an envelope for you. We'll get him an envelope, and he can. You don't have a mic.
doesn't have a
Oh my
Ah,
God!
shit.
Excuses.
I didn't think
excuses.
about that. Should've
Here's the
told you
guy
to
that does
hook up your
everything here, and he
mic,
does
yeah.
have a mic. I don't believe that for a minute. Which album tops Billboard's list of the top 100 holiday albums of all time?
Handel's Messiah.
There's no way it's handled.
It's Bing. It's the Bing. It's White Christmas. Is it?
It's not
A
an album.
Charlie Brown Christmas by Vince Guaraldi Trio.
Yeah, I didn't.
It could have been an album.
Yeah.
You know? It could've
So
been an
Charlie
album.
Brown
Wow.
Christmas album.
Oh,
I would have
okay.
never guessed that, to be
Yeah,
I
honest.
would've
Charlie
never guessed
this.
Brown
The Charlie
Christmas
Brown theme?
album.
I mean, I didn't think the Messiah either. That's
I
like,
totally
that's-
forgot.
Yeah, I know.
You religious guys, listen to that.
No, I don't even listen to
Charlie-
that. I just,
just-
it was so old. I just figured maybe it's been
Just heard that they played that song, you know, the Christmas time thing from the Charlie Brown at the Virginia
Oratorio,
Oratory
yeah.
Society, their Christmas concert on Saturday.
On
So
Saturday.
they did a beautiful job, you know. So they'll shout out there. Michael Slum was kind enough to thank Today Manana there, so we appreciate it. You know, but we
Absolutely,
love
yeah.
having them on. It's really.
Yeah.
I,
They're
mean,
a-
it's,
they're
I
a
was
lot of
like
fun.
when he did. I'm like, really, it's our privilege, it's our
Yeah.
pleasure to have
Yeah, it
to
really
have
is.
them
It
on
really
and,
is.
and just talk about the great work they're doing. So it was a beautiful concert. So yeah, and they played the Charlie Brown. They sang, I should
They
say,
sang.
the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Which is always a great piece.
funny. I just picked up mine. It's another Charlie Brown thing. So obviously, someone's a big Charlie Brown fan. So, in what year did A Charlie Brown Christmas first air?
Oh, I know this one. I can't answer.
1950.
What's yours?
1957.
He was closer. It was 1965.
1965.
I was going to say 64 originally, but I figured I just got to go higher than him.
Yeah, 1950 was a little early. I
the
thought.
jazzy music is probably
So did you know actually that when it first was supposed to air, they showed it to the studio heads, the animation team, who had never animated. Like remember, Charlie Brown had never been animated before the Christmas one, and they hated it. The NBC, I believe it was NBC. They absolutely they hated the music. They didn't think the jazz was appropriate. They didn't like the animation. They didn't think there was a plot. So they were kind of upset with it. But then we're like, you know what? We'll put it. We have no choice. We have it already slotted. We'll put it on the air and just see how it does. And it got something close to like 60 to 70% of the Nielsen ratings, which means that anyone
Yeah.
who had their TV on at the time, for the people that don't know,
60% of them were
60 to
watching
70% of them were watching Charlie Brown Christmas. It was so successful that Charles Schultz and that team were able to remain independent for the rest of at least where I think Charles Schultz's life, in the sense that they weren't beholden to write the stories or do the animation the way that the studios wanted. They were able to do it as they saw fit.
Wow.
And Charles Schultz actually was always doing things his way.
Yeah.
So that it's what made it better, because a lot of times even his own studio people would be like trying to get him to lighten up on Charlie Brown. And of course, some of the most memorable moments are the opposite. It's
Absolutely.
when something
absolutely.
bad
That's-
happens
that's
to him.
why
So-
that's why we like Charlie Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously those pundits at NBC are just as good as The Economist and that
Pretty much,
predict
yeah, they didn't-
recessions.
Don't you always hear that studio intense their knowledge of what makes a good movie?
Yeah, it's not very good.
I mean, Jerry.
Even today.
It's funny because Jerry Seinfeld had told a story once while he was being interviewed that they were doing the part for Kramer. They were trying to figure out, they were doing auditions. And then they got the guy that played Kramer, I can't remember his name, and he came on and it was hilarious and crushed it, and he walks off. And his studio guy turns to him and goes, "Well, if you want funny." And he's like, "What else would I want?"
No, we don't really want
Like,
funny.
they had all these other actors that were decent, but he was like, this guy made us like crack up out loud. He goes, "Well, if you want funny," he's like, "Well, isn't that the whole point of the show? It's supposed to be Seinfeld. It's supposed to be funny."
It's a comedy, right?
It's a comedy,
Am I right
right?
or wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Amazing.
So mine is a trivia question. Where is the biggest Christmas light display in North America?
In North America?
Do I have to do state or like a city in the state?
Well,
I mean,
Is
it
the answer
is it
a state or a
place or is
city?
it a
the answer is
city?
a very specific, actually, place in North America. It's even more specific than a city. But if you guys get
It's probably that block in Brooklyn.
no, but I will be amazed if you guess the state. So you could at least, if you want to reduce it to that.
Is it like Bethlehem, Pennsylvania or something?
Minnesota.
Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Well, it turns out no, it's a lot more local than that. Christmas Town at Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, Virginia.
Kidding me.
The display boasts more than 10 million Christmas lights.
Busch Gardens. in
Busch
Virginia?
Gardens has the
I would not
largest
have
Christmas
guessed that.
light display in North
Wow.
America.
Wow.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And that's
Is that recent?
That is a yes.
Okay. It must be recent.
It
Yeah.
must
amazing.
be recent.
That's
Because
amazing.
I would have guessed
I would
somewhere
hope
in
so.
New York City would have been.
I hope somebody on the feed's not like, no, they just got overtaken this year by,
New York's going green.
Mexico City.
That's right. Yeah.
It's Brooklyn, yeah. All right, Alex, your
Okay,
turn.
I got a joke, but it's a punchline first.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Now
So
we
the
gotta repeat.
punchline is lighten up.
Lighten up.
Oh, what one Christmas tree said to another?
Yes. What did
Nice.
one Christmas tree say to another?
Nice. How'd you get
Lighten
that?
up.
Lighten up. I mean,
Lighten
it's
up.
all Christmas.
Wow.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Wow. Wow.
If I had Jerry's little clapper thing, I'd play
Yeah,
it.
the applause. You deserve the applause.
I think I'm
Little,
stopping here. I'm
applause
telling you.
thing. You might as well quit while you're ahead.
Yeah.
You know, so
getting stuff.
Judas gonna now cut Xavier's mic this way. He can't say anything else.
Go out on a
Alright.
high.
I have some. I have some more trivia here.
It's
So
not your
why?
turn.
Wait, it's not your turn. It's
Okay,
my
go
turn.
for it. Go for it.
Everyone's
Yeah.
got, every envelope has a lot of stuff.
I know did he really cut my mic? Because obviously you don't even want me to say the next one.
His finger's on the button.
I can
Yeah.
see that. I can see that. It's like, what's he going to say? What's he going to say? When was the first known use of Kris Kringle? When was the first known use of Kris Kringle?
I'm gonna go.
Wait, is this a joke or a trivia?
It must be a trivia, right?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, it looks like it.
1880.
The Dutch in 1760.
1830, so it's almost smack in between, I guess, Alex, 1830.
1830.
Why, in heaven's sakes, that's important? Why we want to know, I don't know. But
I
thank
don't
you,
know.
That's the
Nicholas.
point of trivia.
That's the point of trivia.
No one's
Yeah,
interested
Kris
in like
Kringle.
useful trivia.
No.
What
I
can
am.
you do with a wrench? Oh, gee, that's exciting. We have audience. Kevin Higgins watching the show
Oh,
this morning.
Kevin Higgins.
We have an audience question on
He's got
trivia.
tough ones, though.
Trivia.
He's
He
always
does
got
have a
tough
tough
ones.
one. This is a tough one. Who was the first pick
Oh, I know this
to
one.
play George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life? But as Jimmy Stewart was the second.
Henry Fonda.
No, I know exactly.
Was
what.
it Cary Grant?
I'll do Gregory Peck.
Kevin, let us know who's correct. I believe it is Gary Cooper.
Oh, gee.
I think I'm very, very positive
Cooper, he
that
was
it
too short.
That it was Gary Cooper. But I'm
He
not
was like an
because he was
all-American
the
icon.
I believe that was the Cary Grant.
Cary
Not
Grant.
that. I thought it was Gary Cooper. Mikey was right. Michael was
See?
correct.
When it
Oh.
comes to that
nice.
stuff.
That's a
he's-
great
Well, you'll be
question.
honest, I
Thank
could
you,
totally
Kevin.
see him playing Cary Grant. That if you watch
Yeah.
like Arsenic and Old Lace,
Yes,
you see
yes.
that sort of comic side of Cary Grant. He
Yeah.
could have totally played George Bailey a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Thought
a
it
good
was Gary
trivia because I did
Cooper.
not
Yeah,
guess
that was
that
a very
one.
good. Yeah, especially
That's
since I was
good.
so confident, and it turns out I was wrong.
I know. I love how you were like, oh, I know this
That's
one.
the best. It's
Gary
always like,
Cooper.
oh,
And
it's that.
that was probably the worst of them all.
Yeah, it was probably the farthest. Yeah, they're like, no, he's the last choice.
Very
the
cool.
last choice.
Gary Cooper.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the punchline. Silent
Okay.
Night. Is it
Silent
exclamation
Night.
points? I don't know if it's supposed to be exclamation or just
Yeah,
a
I
comment.
didn't, yeah.
Silent Night.
They all had exclamation when they deleted them all.
I'm not
except
even going
that
to try because otherwise I'll ruin my last one.
Yeah, it won't be funny if I try.
one. No, you have to try. In any case, just read it.
What is every parent's favorite Christmas song? Silent Night.
I did it. Nice, nice.
I'm gonna do my joke too because I liked this one. How does the snow globe feel this year? How does the snow globe feel this year?
Shaken.
Yeah, a little shaken.
A little
shaken.
shaken. Ah,
A
Yeah.
little shaking. Very good.
That's good, Alex. You got that one.
shaken.
So many
I
James
like
Bond movies came in handy. Shaken.
Shaken, not stirred. That would be the Bond snow globe. Shaken, not stirred. Okay, what do we got here? Let's see. How long is the average growing time for a Christmas tree? How long does it typically take a Christmas tree to
The
get
gardener
to,
should know that.
30 years.
Go 5 years.
You already know.
I think it's 7.
It is 7.
Yeah.
It is 7
Well, what kind of
years.
tree are we talking about? The ones in our garden still growing, and
The
they're
average
15.
Christmas tree, not the
Not
Rockefeller
the
Center
Irby.
one.
Not the
Excuse me,
Irby.
not the Irby Christmas tree.
Now the RP 12-footer.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Xavier, you know, it's the New Yorker coming out. You know, that Rockefeller tree. Center
Yeah,
tree
exactly.
Must be
That-
really
that-
big.
I've just seen a few movies where it took them like about 20 years to grow that, 20
Apparently, it's
footer.
actually very challenging to grow. You have to really plan ahead because you need to grow some for the really large, big ticket
Right.
trees, but then you have to have enough that have a consistent basis to sell trees.
Exactly.
Well, there's different
So
ways
you
you
have
could
to-
transport it, though. Because remember, we were watching Michael, the
Yeah.
movie Michael with John Travolta like a week back. And in the movie, at one point, one kid is trying to bring the Christmas tree. And he's like, well, we couldn't fit it in one thing, so we cut the top off and tried to bring it in two. And they're trying to use the crane to put it back on
I
top
think
of
the
the
point
fall.
was that that's not the way it's done.
Yeah, well,
I'll tell you a story. So, the head of Solomon Brothers back in the 1980s, right? He lived in a penthouse on top of a building in New York City. He got a huge Christmas tree. They had to close the whole block, get a crane to get the Christmas tree up through the windows to where he lived. And he was able to pull this off to get that Christmas tree through his window because it didn't fit in the elevator, obviously because it lived all the way up. And the only way to do it was through a crane. He was able to call the mayor, close the street, get a crane, get that tree all the way up, and put it in the street.
so what happens is his penthouse had one of those like huge window things, so they
Yes,
open
exactly,
it up and
exactly,
then
yeah.
drop.
Whoa,
Is that crazy?
that is
That is
crazy.
I mean, that's just insane. But anyway.
Nice to have
But,
connections, huh?
Connections.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, especially at Christmas.
That mayor got a nice campaign
Oh, I
donation.
would-
Someone
I
was
think so.
invested in those dividend growers.
I think it was more than that for him.
I know.
So I'm next. Am I
Next
next?
time,
you're
okay.
next. You're next.
Well, you
Oh.
just blew your trivia, but no, I'm just kidding.
Okay, let's see. Is this a...
It's a joke.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you a punchline. I like when you guys try it. Frostbite.
Frostbite.
Well, that's pretty good.
I was gonna rewrite
No,
it because I thought
no,
it
When
could
Jack
have been better.
Frost bites something.
That's
Close.
what I was gonna write.
Is when what you get when you cross a snowman with a vampire. Frostbite.
A snowman with a vampire. We did that
I
one.
didn't write it.
That,
so
I got
don't-
them all from the same place. I was
I
gonna
didn't write
rewrite that one and be what Mikey did, but
So I
Shout out,
have
Shout
go
out here,
ahead.
Johnny Habuchi. Watching.
hey, Johnny, how you doing?
Johnny, how you
great
doing,
guy,
Johnny?
watching the show this morning. Thanks for tuning in.
And anyone else, including Kevin Higgins, you want to throw us another trivia or another joke? You feel
Oh, feel
free.
free.
We
Feel
love
free.
it when the
Just
audience
text me the
participates.
answer first so I look good, please.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah. All of a sudden, Xavier's like, "How did he become
How did he
so
get
smart?
that?
How did he know
How
that?
did he know when like the first Christmas tree was trimmed or whatever?
So I got the one with the picture of Xavier in a Christmas thong. Do I show that on the camera?
Oh, Lord. Who invited
Wow.
I tell this young one, I tell you.
Okay, so when did Christmas become a national holiday, and which president signed it?
That's history. I don't know
I
history.
know that one.
Yeah.
It's not
George
fine.
Washington? I'm going to go George Washington.
It wasn't Ulysses S. Grant.
No, I don't think
And
it
it
was
wasn't
Ulysses
Lincoln.
S. Grant.
I say Roosevelt.
Which one?
Well,
He,
Roosevelt?
he picked both, so that
Oh, nice try. Nice
It's like,
try.
the
You gotta
other guy-
specify.
it's the only name the two presidents.
Why is he here? He's not supposed to say
No, you
that.
gotta specify which Roosevelt.
The first one.
Okay.
I got bad news for you, pops. It actually was Ulysses S. Grant.
No, it was Ulysses S. Grant?
Yes.
That's
I
why,
love how you
that's
go,
why
it
I
can't be-
said that.
it
I
can't
mean,
be.
I was trying to tell you
I
guys. I know
was
the
like, oh no,
answer.
it's not.
be
This is
Ulysses
not.
S.
There's
Grant.
no way. It's Grant.
Did it after drinking a whole thing of eggnog, apparently.
What was in the eggnog?
Wait,
That's
no.
the whole point. You
With
drank the
knowing
whole...
Grant, it was spiked eggnog.
Exactly. You
It's
drank the whole thing of eggnog,
I'll have it.
said, I'll make Christmas a national holiday.
All right.
Yeah, hold the
I'm gonna
eggnog.
ask this one straight to Xavier because I think we three are gonna know this, but I'm
Well,
amused
that's
to
not fair.
see. Yeah, what
That's
it is
throw
gonna
me
be
under
too
the bus
amusing
'cause you
to
know
see.
I
This
don't
one,
answer.
because he said this one. Kevin Higgins says this one might be easy. The question is, how easy is it for Xavier?
Is that he said that?
No. I added that. No,
implied.
he's too nice to say
He's
that.
too nice,
He's
yeah.
too nice to. How many reindeer and what are the names?
Oh, I don't remember their names. I mean, and I know it ain't Rudolph.
Well,
Wait
Rudolph
a
is-
minute.
okay,
So you
can
got
count Rudolph.
Prancer.
Why don't you say it in a way where you can...
Oh, that
the
doesn't work.
song.
That doesn't work. No, yeah, I don't remember the song. Prancer, Donner, Blitzen, Vixen. Mm-hmm. It's 4. I need 3 more. It's 7,
Oh,
right?
you need
No, it's 8.
8. What?
My
9
goodness.
if you count Rudolph, but 8 without.
Comet?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Arrow?
So apparently, Kevin,
Michael's
it's
trying
not
to give
that
you a
easy.
I'm just trying to give you a hint. And you picked
Listen,
the
this
wrong
is the same guy I once said, what's Spider-Man's alter ego? He said Dave Parker.
Dave, yeah.
What the heck?
Every Spider-Man.
All right, wait, I got 5.
You got
close,
5.
That's
close.
pretty good.
5 out of 8 is
Listen,
what?
5 out of 8. That's
What
not
did
bad.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, remember in Jingle All the Way? They like named the 8 reindeer. What does he start doing? He
Well,
starts
he's run
singing a
into
song.
he's run into the studio to beat Sinbad.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
That's
I think I remember that.
Bono Vixen.
I said Don already, right?
You did Donner.
Did he do Donner?
Yeah.
Maple Leaf, I did.
Who's the little wings with an arrow?
Santa Claus.
Make
took
you
care
fall
of
in
it.
love.
Oh, yeah, what the hell is it? What is that guy's name? Yeah.
I love
Wow,
this.
this is challenging.
Yeah, we're wasting too much time.
Dasher, Dancer,
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vincent, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen.
Cupid, that's the guy,
Cupid.
Cupid.
Yeah.
Dasher,
You
Dancer,
forgot
Prancer,
Blitzen,
Vincent,
too.
Comet,
Cupid, Donner, Blitzen.
So thank you, Kevin, for that one.
I'll
To be
throw
honest,
that
I
in there.
think Kevin's question just made our day.
Yeah, I think that was the best one.
It was so easy. I'm like, there's no way he's not going to get this.
Well, look, Kevin's like, this one's too easy for them. And we were like, no, we know Xavier doesn't know this one. This is a good one.
At least he knew Rudolph. The one who's not
Rudolph.
real, but
The most
Rudolph.
famous reindeer of
Well, I
all?
said right
he's
away.
a
I said it's
mythical
not
creature,
Rudolph.
Rudolph. He doesn't exist.
He's a figment of your imagination.
Nah,
Wait,
it was
wait,
made
so-
up.
Whose turn is
Nikki's turn.
Oh,
I just won.
this is my last one. I
Yeah,
have,
Kevin knows Arrow is the best of any rainbow. Maybe I heard that wrong or needs refreshment. Arrow.
That would have been a good reindeer name. Arrow. I mean, come on. He's got to fly
He's
through.
the one when Santa's going into battle, he puts arrow.
From the front.
what is armored collar? My question is a trivia question. When was the first mass-produced Christmas card printed and sent?
The first.
Like a year? You want a year?
Yeah, just give me a year because you're not going to guess the rest.
1890.
1833.
1854.
Michael was the closest. It was 1843. It was printed in the United Kingdom, and it depicted a family celebrating Christmas.
Oh, that's true.
You want to know why I guess? Because just last night we just finished a movie. It's a movie called The Man Who Invented Christmas, and it's about Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens
that was a fun
writing
movie,
A
yeah.
Christmas Carol. And he writes it, I think it was like in 1840s, I believe. That's when it was, right? And when they had all the beautiful, like, they were showing, I guess what I would assume would be the original book, it had all the beautiful drawings of, like, Scrooge and the ghost. And I was kind of thinking to myself, if they're already drawing for Christmas
mass
then,
producing
it's very possible that they were already producing Christmas cards at that point.
That's a good point. That's well done. Well done. Okay. Why do we leave milk and cookies out for Santa on Christmas Eve?
Well, I know that.
Okay,
I
so
know
what's,
that.
What's the first literary reference to it?
I know that.
All right, don't-
Actually, I remember reading this once. It was actually for the guests,
Yes.
right?
It was. It was.
Wow.
Why, so the guests
It
would
just
sneak down
happens
your
is,
fireplace?
According to NPR, one of the first literary references to leaving out milk and cookies on Christmas is in a short story from the 1870s, a time when good manners dictated hosts put out food for visiting guests
Exactly.
to eat.
Uh-huh.
From the
I remember that.
1870s. Well done.
So other times when you didn't have guests, you didn't feed them? They
Well,
just
all I can say is when
maybe
we
outside or
put listen,
something.
way outside?
No, I think what it is that probably.
You left the door open, people just come
No,
in and eat the
if
cookie
you
and
had
left?
guests, you always had to have food available.
Right,
That's probably what it is.
Although I have to admit that when we put the cookies and milk out, Santa definitely ate that stuff
Oh, he
because
did.
the ashes. Remember
Oh,
the
he
ashes?
left ashes. He was
Hold
very
on.
messy, Santa,
Yeah.
when he visited
So-
us. He would leave
so-
ashes out. Sometimes he
There
would
weren't
like,
any guests in
he
that
would-
house,
Well, he
but
would
this-
only eat like he would
Half
eat like
of it.
half of every cookie and leave
Yeah.
crumbs all over the place. He
Exactly.
was kind of
Yeah.
messy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay because he never left a scroll or anything.
It's the only time that mom didn't complain, though. You ever noticed she didn't complain about crumbs or ashes anyway?
Well, Santa used to bring some.
Santa.
nice
Well,
stuff.
never.
Do you remember
Mommy
that-
kissing Santa Claus, so.
Do you guys remember that time we're coming down the stairs on Christmas morning and he's telling us that he accidentally looked at the presents too early and Santa Claus made them all disappear.
Yeah, he turned them to coal.
He turned them to
He
coal.
turned them into coal.
We were so upset because we were small, these little herpes, and our mother was so mad at him. Like, stop it! Don't listen to your father. You're making them upset.
Because I'm pretty sure that this is
But
not.
imagine
a
the
common
glee
tale.
when you found out it wasn't true. That
No,
was
we
even
were
better.
saying- yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, but who wants
See?
to wait up Christmas morning? He said, guys,
So
I'm so sorry.
The backstory-
I looked, and now the presents are gone.
Just so everyone knows, the backstory of this is that everyone has their secret to keeping kids from like running down and opening all the gifts. My parents' secret was that they would say nobody was supposed to look at the gifts before everyone else because then they'd turn to coal. So we'd always tell my father to be very careful when he started to make the coffee for my mother because my mother would not get up unless there was coffee already made. So he had to go make the coffee and be like, "Don't look," and he'd be like pretending to like keep his head down. So then this one year he played the prank on us and told us that he accidentally glanced at them and they
it
turned
was
to
over.
coal. It was
Listen, all I know
traumatic.
is growing up as a kid, Santa gave us the best presents. Our parents were cheap; they just give us clothes. That's all I know. It's true.
Anything good was from Santa.
Exactly. The Legos
Yeah,
were from
it's
Santa.
true. Yeah.
The clothes were from our parents. Cheap.
It's true. Hey, I am who I am.
It's your turn.
Oh, it's me. Oh.
Yeah,
Or
it
did you
is.
read it?
No, I read mine.
That's
I
true.
read mine. I'm out. I'm finished.
Oh, really? You have both envelopes?
Yeah.
What did the gingerbread man sleep under? I guess this is supposed to be
What
a
did
joke.
the gingerbread man sleep under?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do it yet.
It's not a
Cookie sheet.
trivia.
Yeah, do me
There you
a,
are.
Oh,
What did
really?
it say?
Cookie sheet.
Oh, cookie sheet. I should have known that.
Hey, it's not bad.
Especially
This-
you.
That's
This
good.
bit is pretty good.
Okay, now I got a joke too. Why does Santa go down the chimney?
Oh,
This one's a little tougher.
I don't
Can't
remember
fit
this
through
one.
the door?
That's not a good
What are you trying to say?
Wait, that's something I would say.
What are you trying to say? You saying Santa needs 2 seats on a plane? Is that what you're trying to
Wait,
say?
there's no
That's
alarm.
exactly what I'm
There's
trying
no
to
alarm system down the chimney.
It needs 2 seats in the sleigh, you mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because it suits him.
That's
good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that. I like that.
Do you guys have any more? Or them all out?
no.
I got one more. What about you,
Yeah, I
Pops?
have one.
Okay.
Oh, they have-
Pops.
Did you check? Because there was
Yeah,
supposed to be 2 in each.
Oh yeah, no. Oh wait. Yeah, I do have one more. Just you previously asked what's the best-selling Christmas album of all time. Well, what is the best-selling Christmas single, like the single song of all
Oh,
time?
I already know this
It
one.
has
so I
sold
can't
Yeah, we
answer.
heard
over
it- we heard it
100
the other day, right?
million
Yeah,
records.
yeah. I already answered that the other day.
Did you really?
Yes.
Michael, what do you think?
I don't think it's the same one.
Um,
I
Oh,
remember.
it's not the same one?
Maybe. So we have Jerry shout out Mariah Carey. I'm assuming you mean
It's-
All I Want
that's
for
a-
Christmas.
yeah, that's a
right?
good guess. It's not a bad
no,
guess.
it's not that. It was some song I didn't expect it to be. I don't remember though.
I say White Christmas.
No.
It is
Oh,
White
White
Christmas.
Ah.
It's
White
the old
Christmas.
White Christmas by
Yeah.
Bing Crosby.
Oh yeah, we heard
It
that.
is sold.
One the other day.
It is sold over 100 million records around the world.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. On.
No, I'm not doing that.
So I'd always like to do the White Christmas, the snow, where you snow.
No.
No.
All right. This is
it's
why the
permitted.
Urbies are not in a family.
And what's
band.
They were drinking when they sang that.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You put a couple
To be
rounds
fair,
of
drinking
bourbon,
and
we would have
eating.
been
But
singing.
just so everyone knows, like, when before we had gone live with Michael Salon the first time, and Xavier and I were on with him, and he was like, "Are you guys could the Oratorio Society is for everyone. Anyone can audition, even you guys." I'm like, "No, do not have Xavier go
for the Oratorios.
and ruin the Oratorio Society of Virginia Police. Do not
That's
do
too
that.
good.
We beg you." Like,
Well, it's even funny. Like in church, I sing the songs, right? And so every once in a while, I look over and mom is just like
Exasperated.
trying to hold back on the laugh because it's like
you're always
once in
in
a while
a
she'll
different
like
key, and
that's a little quieter, please.
Listen,
But
you
that's,
can't
you're
be accused
supposed
of
to.
not having
Yeah,
the
you
spirit.
sing at least better than this guy. This guy doesn't.
because I know I sing like him.
No, they come out of his mouth.
A shout out to Vanessa Parkhill, Bill McChesney for watching this
Thanks
morning.
for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, this one's like James Caan from Elf. That I
don't do the
He's
sing.
trying to do word
And
the
mouth
song
it.
doesn't come out. And then one day he'll have to save Christmas by singing.
I saved Christmas by not singing.
I got one more.
Okay, do it.
I think I got one. I mean, obviously, what was the original name of Clement Clark Morse the night before Christmas?
What was the original name?
Yeah. It was
Oh, yeah, it's not called the Night Before Christmas. It's called A Visit from St. Nicholas.
That is correct.
Oh,
wow.
We know
Very
it
good.
was the Night Before Christmas because that's the first line of the poem. But yeah,
Plus
the name of the poem was A Visit
Visit
from
from
St.
St.
Nicholas.
Which is good. I like that one too.
I like that. Yeah. That's
So that was good.
Okay,
Last-
so I'm going last one. I'm
the
going to do the
last-
punchline first in this one. This way you can try to guess
okay.
it. Rap.
Rap.
As in
R.I.T.?
WRAP.
Rap.
Santa's favorite kind of music.
Close. Very close.
The elves' favorite kind of
Yes,
music.
that's what it is. The elves' favorite kind of movie. Rap.
Santa doesn't do the rapping. He only does the
Okay.
That's pretty good, though.
That's
Once you
Santa's
said-
I was
Minutes,
close.
man.
I was
Very close, yeah,
Well,
not bad.
LVT. Once you said that, I said I just have to switch
The
Santa
rap
to the elves.
thing. Yeah, I'm going to take credit for part of that.
I was
Yeah.
gonna do one where it was. I was gonna do it because I wrote it. The only one I wrote myself that I thought was funny is I was gonna say Christmas spirit, and then everyone would say Christmas spirit, and then I'd say, what does Xavier have in midnight when no one's watching? A little Christmas spirit.
Oh, Christmas spirit. The drinkable kind.
Yeah.
The kind that can be imbibed.
I don't think he has to sneak downstairs to get a little
Nah,
Christmas.
I know that's part of the problem.
at all.
He doesn't have
Not
to
at
at
all.
all.
Man.
The question is figuring out which of the two.
Which Christmas spirit he wants.
That's right.
You have
Exactly.
Lots to choose
Exactly.
from.
This cognac or that cognac? Well, I should
Well,
say cognac because it's not cognac.
Brandy,
Yeah.
Which time?
Spanish brandy.
Spanish.
He's been into that lately.
Okay, yeah.
That was
because it's
fun.
good.
Thanks
yeah.
for
yeah,
putting
that was
those
good.
Yeah,
together.
thank
I
you.
like
That
that.
was
That was good.
Yeah.
That
I
was
gotta
good.
come
You
up
have
Well,
to
the very
yourself.
first joke that we heard like yesterday was probably the best, but we can't say that one in air.
Yeah, Alex won't let us say that one. I
Yeah.
thought it was
yeah.
funny.
No, you're not. You're not. I forbid
We'll
it.
have to do that offline.
I forbid.
Off
This
the
is a
air.
Off the
family
air.
friendly
Anyone
show.
who wants
Well,
to
why don't
know-
you say the joke and then everyone else
No.
can figure out the punchline?
No.
So anyone who wants the actual joke can let us know at Today Manana. Just message Today Manana.
Let them know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you want to hear the joke. Joke. No,
No. It's a family friendly show.
it wasn't that bad.
It's a friend. That's a friend. Yeah,
It's a family friendly
it's
show on
a-
a family friendly
It's a
network.
Christmas. It's a Christmas joke.
I just-
You know.
But yeah, you outdid yourself. You had
Yeah,
some
yeah,
good,
this was
I
good.
didn't. I thought last year
Well,
was
last
pretty
year
good.
was good, but this
Last-
year I thought was better. I like the combination of the jokes and
Yeah,
the,
I like that. I
And
like
then
that.
and the
everyone
trivia.
participates.
And
Yeah.
everyone-
And I
was
like
able
when
to
you put
participate.
trivia questions that I know.
Exactly.
I
There were
didn't
too many
really
that you knew. I wasn't
Johnny,
happy
there
about
were a
that.
few
Next
that
time you
I
should do something
surprised
like, you
by.
know, the reindeer.
Exactly.
Or the,
And I know we are supposed to give another shout out thanks to Mrs. Erpy who told me about this. That we had a great time at the Nutcracker
Oh, that's
Yes.
correct.
on Sunday evening from Charlottesville Ballet, and then went to one of our favorite restaurants in town, Sal's Cafe
Very
Italia,
good. Yes,
right
right.
here in
That
the downtown mall,
you know,
which is so good.
one of the things about the Nutcracker is that the music reminds you of Christmas.
It really
does.
does.
Right? And the orchestra just did a fabulous job.
Yeah,
right?
Charlottesville Symphony was
yes,
there
exactly.
playing.
And so that was just beautiful. And then to watch the dancers, and especially, I mean, to be honest with you, the dancers are very good, but when you watch the little kids,
They're so-
it was so
I
cute
know.
because once in a while they're looking right or left. And it's like, oops, I went the wrong way.
yeah, they don't know what they're doing. They're
Exactly.
just up there.
But it's so cute.
They're
It's
so
so
adorable.
funny.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the best part is the fight between the rat
the Rat
and the
King,
soldier.
yeah.
Yeah, but you had nightmares that night
I
after
know,
that.
I know, I did.
You got
I have it
those
every
little
time, but I
nightmares.
love seeing
those-
the ballet
part.
anyway.
I have to admit, I did love hearing the pas de deux in person. That, which is funny because as
Like one of the
emotional
dances.
and powerful the
Yeah.
songs, was, as great as it is, it was a bet. It was written based off a bet that Tchaikovsky had in private.
With whom?
So he, with another composer, they were having a disagreement whether or not a scale, just the scale itself, could be a melody. Yeah, thank you, Alex. That was actually surprisingly well done. I was like, wow.
That's
usually,
the scale.
Usually it goes off on the reduces the
Well,
scale.
when
yeah.
you watch what's it called, The Sound of Music enough times,
Yeah.
do, a di, yo, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la,
Yeah,
ti, di.
yeah. So if that could be a melody, and Tchaikovsky bet that it could, the other guy bet it couldn't. So in the Nutcracker, the pas de deux
Right.
is a descending minor scale.
Scale.
That-
Dun, 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 dun. It's just a scale.
And the funny thing is,
down.
Tchaikovsky had to clarify. He wrote
He
the guy
asked the
says,
guy, does it have to be up or down,
Does it have
right?
to be up or down? The guy says, it doesn't matter which way. He doesn't think it could be done. And he did it in the pas de deux.
Wow.
He wrote
Is
a.
it
I mean, I never realized that.
It's
That's
just eight notes
I never
going
realized
out.
that's what it is. But
It's just-
That's
you
all
tell
it
me,
is. It's just
yeah.
the main melody is just a descending minor scale,
Yeah.
and yet he
And that's a-
manages
and that's a
to turn
beautiful
into
song, too.
something.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
no,
peace.
It's one of the best. And it's like,
is,
wow, it's
it
so
is,
simple.
So we had a great time and then a great dinner at Sal's Cafe Italian.
really,
Definitely one of
yeah.
the best places in Charlottesville. You know,
Yeah,
they
it was
did-
a good way. It was a good way to celebrate Christmas, locally here. I
Yep.
mean, it's
Yeah.
just it was a lot of fun. We had
And
a
we're
lot.
hoping
we
that
had
the
a
symphony
wonderful
comes
time.
back next year for that,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that to make it part of the tradition. So because this is the first year the symphony has been with the ballet.
Yeah, I think it makes
So
a big difference.
it
too.
does.
You
Having
know,
the
if they
live
could-
music is
Yeah, if
just-
they could do that, that'd be great because there's nothing like a live symphony.
And it looked like the performers were having a lot of fun too,
Yeah.
all the musicians
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Should
And
they
we
know they're
heard
not
just a
cracked
personal
about
shout
that.
out to the conductor Ben, who was
Oh,
on
yeah.
our show. Ben
We got
Brown.
flowers too. He's lucky because
He went on
home-
stage,
prob-
he
yeah.
bowed.
And then he went home and he gave the flowers to his wife, and his wife's happy with him. I mean,
Yeah.
all I can get.
Well, it's kind of funny, but one of the things we had heard from the Charlottesville Ballet is that he's great at he is intuitive with the performers, like the dancers. He has a really great sense, even when he was first doing the rehearsals, of knowing when to slow down, when to interact with them for their choreography. So it's kind of interesting to hear that, because you're like, you just think conductor and Garrett playing the music and it's up for the dancers to do whatever they need to do with
Yeah.
it, but that's not the case.
Oh, it's a lot of
Yeah.
work on both sides.
Yeah, so that's,
Great job all around. Great job by Sal's, always making good food.
Yeah, the pasta's delicious. I have to admit. Oof.
So a
The
great way to
fried
celebrate
calamari.
Christmas locally, which we always encourage people.
Exactly.
To
Exactly.
do.
Yeah. The shops.
Speaking
the
of which, I
restaurants.
think on that, I'm pretty sure I saw it. I'm pretty sure that I Love Seville, if you go to iloveseville.com, there's like a list of things. There's 11 local shops for
That's
Christmas
right.
shopping. So I would encourage people to check that out. They've done a great job.
And places to visit too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
love Seville. Just shout out to you guys, Jerry and Judah. You had a bunch of Christmas articles this year that were
Yeah.
really fun
Yeah,
and
local
great. To,
shops.
Yeah.
I think
That
there's
was
like
really
8 things
helpful,
to
yeah.
do for the holidays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Judah, that was great. Yeah.
So really be sure to check
But
it
does
out.
that mean he got the chance to go to all these places and write about it? I mean, that's that's like those guys that like do the traveling. They go to Spain and Italy,
Yeah,
whatever.
Rick Steves,
I mean, that's
they
a
get
real
the
tough
free-
job. I mean,
Yeah.
so is that what he did? Is that what you tell me? He went to all these places and looked around and shopped and ate and it's like, yeah, it's tough. No, thank you, Jim.
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
kidding.
no, it's
I'm
a
pull- I'm
great
pulling
job.
your chain.
A great job. And so, yeah, be sure to check out iloveseville.com. You can see
He's
places
the-
you can support
Judah shutting your
locally.
mic off now. And
It's always
No, he
good.
definitely
Meanwhile,
shut
we're
it up.
complimenting. We're like, oh, he's the Rick Steves of Virginia, and you're like, how hard is that?
Got to support some local places, to be sure.
Absolutely. That's what's
You know?
important. Yeah.
And I think a good way to close, Kevin Higgins' really nice comment, which we really appreciate. What you do on this show takes effort, and our community appreciates you. You are part of the Charlottesville footprint now, and we are so lucky to have you. You are assets to our community. Keep doing exactly what you are doing, and don't change a thing. Thank you for keeping us connected, and happy holidays to your family. You make us better.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
That's
you,
really
Kevin.
sweet
Kevin,
Thank
I
you.
comment.
really
Very kind,
appreciate
very
that.
kind.
It really-
Appreciate
it's
it. Absolutely.
people that watch like you that make us better. 'Cause, I mean, that's
Absolutely.
otherwise we would just
put
be
a
sitting
smile on
here
our face.
talking to ourselves. But we really appreciate everyone, such as yourself, who watches and comments and sends us people, and just really appreciate it.
Yeah,
This is a
absolutely.
great community, and we're really
It
happy
really
to be
is.
part
Yeah.
of it.
We're very fortunate. We are blessed. We are really
We
blessed.
are.
In many ways. Yeah.
We are. Well, I can't think of a better way to
To wrap up.
wrap up the last show.
Well,
of
so I just
this
want to make
year.
sure we say, for all those out there that speak Spanish, Feliz Navidad,
Feliz
Navidad.
y un feliz año nuevo con mucha salud.
Claro que sí.
I thought you were going to start singing.
Próspero
Ah,
año y
yo-
felicidad.
Próspero año y
Y
felicidad.
felicidad. No, muchísimas gracias a nuestra comunidad latina.
Sí.
Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas
To everyone.
to everyone. We appreciate all of our viewers, no matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're near or far. I mean, we've had everyone this year from Montana out one direction to remember someone in Africa.
Yes, there was
Yeah.
some African, yeah.
You know, we've had
Italy.
Italy, Spain, Germany, Puerto Rico.
Oh, yes, correct.
So from everywhere. So we appreciate everyone.
Is
that
Puerto Rico
tunes
a
in.
country? I mean, does that really exist?
That's the Cuban speaking.
Yeah.
That's the Cuban. He had to throw in a Puerto Rico.
He had to throw in a Puerto Rico
Puerto
joke,
Rico
yeah.
did give us Feliz Navidad. He was Puerto Rican.
That's true. That's true.
All
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah, but somebody perfected it.
So
I'm
just,
just kidding.
I just really love all our guests, no matter where you are. Johan Torres, thanks for liking the show today and tuning in. Appreciate it. Great man here in Charlottesville. Just really appreciate all of you. Appreciate, this network. Really love
Absolutely,
being on
yeah.
I Love
No,
Seville.
are you gonna
For
say
allowing
hasta mañana?
for allowing us
First
to
time
do
we'll-
what we
Or are you
do.
going to say hasta Feliz? Or,
I think
yeah,
Feliz
probably.
Navidad, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably have to do that instead.
Año Nuevo.
So
Yeah.
thanks to Judah for another year behind the camera. Thanks to Jerry and the I Love Seville Network for
Yeah,
continuing.
thank you guys. Thank you.
help us be on here and reach people. Thanks to all of you guys. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. Sometimes you
Absolutely.
may only see Xavier and myself. You may only see Michael and myself. You may never see Nick. But there's a lot of work that goes on
I have to
behind
be,
the
and I have to
scenes.
be totally honest. I mean, I come here pretty much unprepared. Nick does all the work. I mean, I really just come here, sit down, and have fun.
I mean,
Yeah, he
Nick,
puts all the guests.
Michael-
He
He
walks in the
finds
studio
Nick
and
does-
says,
great
who's
people.
on today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Michael does all the work later to spread, so they do a lot of the work, and I know Alex prepares
Yeah,
all the
listen,
questions.
and
so
also special
the
thanks
only
to
one
Alex.
that really is
Yeah.
just comes here and is as if it's had like a 1 hour break. It's me.
Well, your job is to be affable, and you're good at
Yeah.
it. So
Oh, thank you. So I appreciate you
Yeah,
guys.
thanks.
No,
for-
good job,
thank you.
Nick.
Thanks
And
for-
special thanks to
thanks for
Alex,
that.
because trust me, I was in that chair like 4 times, and it was not easy to
love
host
doing
the
it.
show and lead and talk and sound
But you
intelligent.
do a great job.
And he does
I
it
managed to sound
effortlessly.
mildly intelligent.
Oh, very
Okay,
intelligent.
good. I'm glad to hear it.
You know, you need to balance out the other
The
side. So it's
affability.
like you need to be intelligent because
What
the
are you
other
trying to
side.
say?
Need to balance
What's he
the
trying to
affability
say?
with someone unaffable. he says you got to balance it out. I was like, we were saying Xavier's a great guy. We got to balance it out with somebody not so fun. That doesn't sound right.
Straight man,
No,
what
Xavier's
can I
got like
say?
a mushy like this to him, like you were looking at Santa
a Santa,
Claus.
yeah.
Exactly, like a little Santa
I just
Claus.
need the belly.
The Cuban Santa Claus. He doesn't have a beard. He just got like a mustache.
Comes in with a cigar and he lights
Yeah.
up your
Oh,
fireplace.
exactly.
Then he goes back out.
We use it the fireplace to light up his cigar.
Yeah, like Mongo from Blazing
And he leaves
Saddles.
little cigarillos for the little kids. That's what
Yeah,
they
that's
start
where the
learning.
ashes came from that night. Now you got me.
Oh my goodness! It was good to be on with you guys. Always appreciate
Same
it.
here.
We're actually we won't have a show next week because everyone will be celebrating Christmas, and then we will see everyone in the new year.
Yeah,
So
Absolutely.
normally I would close it out hasta mañana, but in this case I'm going to say to everyone, Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, and we'll see
Hasta
you.
el año nuevo.
Hasta el año nuevo.
Yeah.